Welcome. In this video, we're going to learn how to colorize a black and white photo. Notice my photo on the screen. What I'm going to do next is save the file. File, save as, and I'd like you to please put your period, put your last name, put your first name, and we can call this Old Jersey City. Save it to your appropriate folder and then hit save. Next, you're going to create a new layer. Go over to where it says layer, new, and layer. We're going to hit OK, and there's a new layer right above the background layer. That new layer, where my mouse is right here, you see where it says normal. That is the layer blending mode. If I were to click on that, I get choices, different ways to blend the layers together. For this lesson, we're going to explore where it says color. And now, when we begin to paint on that layer, we're going to get different effects than if we were having it set on normal. So let's explore. If I were to go to my color palette, and let's say I want to find some blue for the sky. And now I go over to the sky area and I begin to paint. You notice you get this nice soft blue film there, right? So I can color it in. If this was set in the layer blending mode to normal, it would look like that. And if I went over an area like that, it would erase it. But when it's set to color, I could still see through it. And by the way, the advantage of that is even if I accidentally did that, I simply can take my eraser, let's make that edge hard, take my eraser and I can just clean up that space. Now, to make it even easier, what I would suggest is wherever possible, you make selections. Now, there are no quick selections. My apologies for that. They will take work. This is why we have 9 tools here, right? We have the rectangular marquee, elliptical marquee, single row, single column. We have the lasso tool, polygonal lasso tool, magnetic lasso tool. We have the quick select tool, and we have the magic wand tool. If only one was needed, they wouldn't give us 9. So explore them. Now here I might try to click on a section. Now I'm on the wrong layer, so that wasn't useful. But let me go to the background layer, and I'll make a selection. See, I got most of the sky. I didn't get it all, so I can hit Shift, and I can expand my selection. And now I'm getting, I think, a better selection, but I've taken too much here in this area. So if I were to zoom in and I could look at it, you'd see that there's more here that needs to be addressed. Well, here we go in this space here. So I would take my lasso tool. Notice I'm combining things. And I would take my lasso tool and I would hit subtract, and I would subtract these areas that I don't want to be as part of that selection. And I'd have to go around the contour and get out as much of it as I could. And if I make a mistake, I'll have to go back and correct it. Luckily, I showed you we can erase. But we get a decent selection here. And now I can take the selection. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and I'm going to save the selection because I may want to go back to it later. Save selection. I'm going to call it sky. And at that point, I'm going to take and I'm going to go back to the layer that I'm painting on, which is the one that we've set to color. And now I can take my brush and I can set my brush really big and wide, right? I can just hit the brackets wide, and then I can just paint really fast. And I'm not going to hit anything. Now, if I hit things that I wanted to, didn't mean to hit, for example, right here, I didn't mean to hit that. I can go in with an eraser in areas I didn't get. I can go back and get. Let's see, that I got this, I have to select. So I will deselect and take my eraser and simply scale it down. And if I need to, I will zoom in because it makes it better. So you'll see me correct this now. Zooming in, and don't be afraid. So here we go. And now I can make this a little bit smaller. Don't forget you can hit shift keys to make straight lines, which is what I'm doing here. And make my bracket smaller so I can get exactly the cleanup that I want. Okay, so now you've seen how that's done. You're basically going to do that throughout this composition. So let me give you examples of what I've done. So here we see, whoa, there's a lot going on there. So here we see the original black and white. And this one here, that one is my color layer. So if you look here, you'll notice that one says color. And I did most of my painting there. Then, to show you other possibilities, I also added a layer. Now this layer up top is normal. And I used it just to create the color of the type, and I made selections of that on the first layer, and then I saved that selection so I could color it and explore it. So we see here we can do regular layers, put them in, and we can lower the opacity. Here the opacity is down to 56%. I'll shut that off for a second. So then here you can see that. Now here I had some experimental layers. Now here, same painting, but look, it's on subtract. Feel free to explore different things that might happen as you explore some of these varied effects. Okay? Some of them are more interesting than others, and you can combine them. And here's what I did. I had it set to subtract, and then I put this on top, and it kind of creates what looks like a night scene. But I did do other things. For example, I erased out the window spaces here, and you can see the layer, what it looks like. It looks like that. That's the paint layer. So combine that with these, and now we have this picture. Oh, and I turn on my lights. But good luck. Don't be afraid to make selections. You can paint with freehand with a brush. That's what I did here in this section. So I go in on these people. Here I was simply taking my brush, going to my active layer, and I was just painting. Oh, obviously that brush is a little big. But I was just picking my colors, selecting from here, setting my colors, and then just painting on people very loosely. But in the end, when you back up, you do have to zoom in and do it. When you back up, you'll get something quite effective. So good luck on this project. It's not hard. Remember all the videos I made on how to select. If you forgot, go back and study those. Have a great day.